What's going on, everyone? So, according to Mark Stein, the Charlotte Hornets are prepared to take calls on veterans like Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward, and Kelly Oubre, according to Mark Stein's report. He also adds Charlotte entered Saturday with a 12-34 record, third worst in the NBA. Talented guards LaMelo Ball has been limited to 22 games this season and suffered an ankle sprain this week. As a result, the Hornets will prioritize lottery position for the remainder of the season, per Stein. Now, the Lakers, they have been interested in Terry Rozier and acquiring Terry Rozier for some time. So I definitely think that the Lakers will inquire at least about him. He has long-term salary, so I don't think it would cost much, if at all. I don't see many teams willing to pony up a bunch of assets and players and expiring deals and stuff like that to go get Terry Rozier, who's not having the best year. Now, personally, I think Terry Rozier would be great. Scary Terry, he's a guy that kind of can attack on all three fronts, right? He can score in a multitude of ways. He can play on the ball, off the ball. I think he would be a great scorer. I know many people look at it and go, oh, we don't need another undersized guard. But the thing is, in order to get Terry Rozier, you're unloading guards, right? You're probably trading Patrick Beverley and Kendrick Nunn to go get Terry Rozier. Terry Rozier can provide what you were hoping Patrick Beverley and Kendrick Nunn would give you. I mean, even in a semi-unproductive year for Terry Rozier, which a lot of it is circumstantial, he was pretty much the primary guy for a good chunk of the season, and teams were double teaming him, and he was having to kind of generate everything, be the playmaker as well as the primary scorer, and he's still averaging 20 a game as a guy that's not having great efficiency. And so imagine what he could do next to LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook, guys like that. Like, he would be great. He also is another guy that can just go get a bucket, right? You can just give him the ball and just let him go to work. He can operate in the mid-range. He can knock down the three ball. He can get to the hoop. Like, we need somebody like that, somebody that's confident, that can, close out games if need be. That's been one of our biggest issues, is having that closer, a guy that can just go get a bucket without having to just drive to the rim. Like, Terry Rozier, again, can score on all fronts. And as much as I would love Terry Rozier, my hope is that the Lakers don't just stop there. Like, I would like and love Terry Rozier if we could get him, but I hope the Lakers try to get Rozier and other pieces. Now, obviously, they have a ton of wings, right? A plethora of wings. Personally, I would still love the big Hornets trade, right? Where you just basically take everybody for Russell Westbrook and essentially like Damian Jones or something like that. Basically, you would get Patrick Beverley, or you would take, Russell Westbrook and, like I said, Damian Jones, maybe Kendrick Nunn, something like that. Send that to the Hornets for Terry Rozier, Kelly Oubre, Gordon Hayward, and then PJ Washington. And that would be kind of like what the Knicks wanted to do, where it's like, hey, you like Cam Reddish? We'll just give you Cam Reddish if you take Evan Fournier. Kind of the same idea, which is like the Hornets would be willing to give up Terry Rozier if you take on all of our long-term salary, and then they get to basically clear off the books. And they have LaMelo Ball. They got to re-sign Bridges. We were waiting for that for this deal to get done, but at some point they're going to re-sign Bridges. On top of that, you're very likely going to get Victor Wembanyama or Scoot Henderson. So if that's the case, and you could get one of those two guys, then you're in a great position for the next 10 plus years. You got LaMelo Ball. Let's say you get Victor Wembanyama and you got Miles Bridges. So you got a legit big three that could be a championship level big three if everything works out, and you'd have like $100+ million in salary space. Like, you're hitting a home run if you're the Charlotte Hornets, right? Like, that would be the best position the Hornets could be in if that was the case. And then for the Lakers, you get a bunch of win-now pieces and long-term pieces. I would hate to see Russ go. I love Russ. I've been a huge advocate for Russ. I've taken a lot of flack for being a Russ defender and supporter throughout this season, but at the end of the day, if you can do a deal that makes sense, you got to do it. This is a deal not only for this season, but for the season going forward. You get three sizable wing-type players that could play multiple positions. Like, Gordon Hayward could play the 2 or the 3. Kelly Oubre could play the 2 or the 3. PJ Washington could play the 3 or the 4. So you get that flexibility. You could start all three of these guys next to LeBron James and Anthony Davis, and you'd still have Terry Rozier. At that case, you could move Dennis Schroeder to the bench. So you could go like Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward, maybe Kelly Oubre, or have LeBron start at the 3, PJ Washington at the 4, Davis at the 5. That is great. And then you have Dennis Schroeder as your starting point guard, or as your backup point guard. You got Austin Reeves. You got Lonnie Walker. You'd have, Kelly Oubre. You'd have Thomas Bryant, Winning Gabriel. So now you're essentially 10 players deep, right? Like, that would be great. But even if you don't do the home run deal, right, and you do decide to keep Russ, then you could still get a Terry Rozier and like a PJ Washington. Take Patrick Beverley, Kendrick Nunn, and like Lonnie Walker, because as much as I love Lonnie Walker, realistically, we're probably not going to be able to keep him beyond this season. Go get a young PJ Washington that you would have control over for the next several seasons, that can play multiple positions, can defend, sizable wing, can knock down the 3 ball, can go get you, 15 to 20 night in and night out, and you get Terry Rozier. I think you're good. You get 2 guys that can consistently provide scoring and be solid contributors night in and night out. Or go get, if you don't want Terry Rozier, go get like a Kelly Oubre and PJ Wash. Try to go get the wings. Like, work it out to where you can get multiple pieces, because we really do need like at least 2, if not 3, quality starting level guys. And so if the Lakers could get Terry Rozier, who's a starting level guy, and then, like I said, a PJ Washington, that's a starting level guy. You could also get, say, you could get a Kelly Oubre and Terry Rozier for the same 3, Lonnie Walker, Patrick Beverley, Kendrick Nunn, but you'd have to add in like a Damian Jones. But if you add in a Damian Jones, that should be about enough to clear it. And then there you go. You move off of Damian Jones's 2-year deal. If Charlotte, they probably don't care because they're moving off of $100+ million. $2 million isn't going to change anything, right? So you could get, say, a Kelly Oubre, PJ Washington, or Kelly Oubre, Terry Rozier if they don't want to move off of Washington. Perfect, right? They get that kind of backup guard. Another option would be, say, Plumlee, right? You could do Rozier and Plumlee, and then do the same type of deal. Walker, Beverley, Kendrick Nunn. So if I'm the Lakers and I'm looking at a Hornets deal, I'm trying to get multiple pieces. I know ideally they want to move off of Gordon Hayward and Terry Rozier. That would be their big prize, right? That's what Charlotte wants more than anything, because Oubre is expiring, so they could just let him go. So it's not a big deal for them in that department, but they're not going to be able to move Gordon Hayward. His injury history, as great as he is, Gordon Hayward might be the best fit in the league next to LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Problem is he makes $30 million a year and he can't stay healthy. If he could stay healthy, you're talking about Austin Reeves all grown up. Swiss Army knife that can pass, that can shoot, that can defend, that can do everything. Play the 2, play the 3. He's got bigger size. Like, Gordon Hayward would be perfect next to LeBron James, Anthony Davis, right? But 1, you'd be taking on such long-term salary. 2, you'd be moving off of Russell Westbrook, which I don't mind, but there has to be some type of compensation. Like, if you're taking between these 2 guys, you're taking $150 million in cap space. Like, that's a lot. That requires the Hornets giving up stuff, which I don't think they would give up picks. So that's where I think you go and you look at a PJ Washington. Hey, keep your picks. We don't want the picks. We get to keep ours, right? Maybe we give you a second so you feel good, so you feel like you won, and we'll take everybody. Give us everybody. But we want PJ Washington as the compensation for doing this. You take Russell Westbrook, you're just going to buy him out, but now you got $150 million in future salary relief, and then some, because you have to pay PJ Washington too. So not only do you have to pay PJ and we're clearing his salary off, we're also clearing off all these other salaries. Like, right? So like, if you could work that out, to me, that's still the best deal. You get 3 3-and-D style wings, and you get a legit 3-point scorer, right? You get a shooter, a guy that can score on all 3 levels. If you can't win a championship with these 4 guys, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, plus the guys you already have, then I don't know what to tell you. And this is a team you would have for the next several seasons. Literally, right? You'd have, because all these guys, PJ Washington, you're going to re-sign, and then Kelly Oubre, you're going to re-sign. Terry Rozier, you got for the next several seasons, and Gordon Hayward, you have for at least the next 2 seasons. And then if he works out great, you could always re-sign him for a smaller contract if you need to, because you'd have his bird rights. So, maybe sign him for $10 million a year, right? Like something like that, right? So you got these guys for the next 3 to 5 years easily. That, to me, is great. right? That's a move that is long term that you don't have to worry about just this season, because that's the thing that the Lakers are hesitant with. The Lakers are hesitant to trade assets for a guy that maybe doesn't move the needle, and pieces that may or may not stay for the long term. Like a Miles Turner, right? Like Miles Turner, you imagine he wants to stay with the Lakers, but you got to overpay him. And then, like, if you don't want to overpay him and he decides to leave, you're in trouble. Where these guys are already locked in, right? Worst case, you got PJ Washington, Kelly Oubre, and Gordon Hayward for the next several seasons, right? Like, let's say Kelly Oubre doesn't want to re-sign. Let's say Kelly Oubre is like, I want to go test the market somewhere else, or he just wants too much money or something. Fine, let him go. Not a big deal. You still basically got your starting five for the next several seasons. Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward, LeBron James, PJ Washington, and Anthony Davis. There's your starting five. And that's a good enough starting five to where after, like, if LeBron, misses some games, you could still win. If Anthony Davis misses some games, you could still win, right? We've already seen you don't lose any of, like, your core guys. Like Kendrick Nunn, he's stepped up as of late, but he's been inconsistent. Even when he does go on like a nice little run, he starts getting carried away, and you're like, whoa, pull it back a little bit, buddy, right? Like, so I don't think he's a big loss. Lonnie Walker, that would be tough because he's been really good for us, but again, we're probably losing him after this season, and you're getting his production and then some, right? I mean, you're getting two guys that are averaging 20 points a game and another two guys that are giving you like 15 a game. You're getting essentially like 80 to 90 points in production, right? Like, that's pretty good. And then you're also getting size, so you're going to be a better rebounding. Like, this is about as close to solving all of our holes as possible. Ideally, you do this deal, and then you go sign like a Hassan Whiteside or something. That's what I'd like to happen. But at that point, you might not need that, because you got basically your big rotation would be PJ Washington, Anthony Davis, Wenyen Gabriel, and Thomas Bryant. So I think that that's a good big man rotation. Plus LeBron can play the four. If you go small, you could have Kelly Oubre play the four, right? Like, so I think regardless, you're in a good spot. I still think the Hornets trade is the best deal that the Lakers could make. I don't think it would cost both first round picks. I think at absolute worst case scenario, you're giving up one first, which I don't think they should, because again, you're talking about taking on $150 million. But if you can get PJ Washington, I do think it's worth giving up a first for, because this deal does make you a contender, in my opinion. Even if Gordon Hayward can't stay healthy, you still got Kelly Oubre, who's giving you 20 a night. PJ Washington, who's giving you 15 to 17 a night, and then you're getting Terry Rozier, who's giving you 20 a night. So you basically got, even without Gordon Hayward, you got sizable wings that can play multiple positions, that can defend. You got a three level scorer. Like, it's the best deal that's on the table. It really is. It's really, really good. It's really solid. And these guys are all guys that aren't supposed to be, first, second, third. Like, Terry Rozier is not supposed to be your number one option. But on the Lakers, he would be your third option. Gordon Hayward at this point in his career is not supposed to be your second option, right? He's supposed to be your third, fourth, fifth option. Well, he would be our third, fourth, fifth option. Same thing with PJ Washington. Same thing with Kelly Oubre. Kelly Oubre is not supposed to be. Problem is that the Hornets don't have that first and second option. These guys are. It's kind of like how the position that we're in, where outside of LeBron and AD and Russ, like, we have a bunch of guys that are supposed to be your fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth best option, are playing as like your third and fourth best option. Same similarity. And look at what our record's been, right? Like, so it's understandable why the Hornets have been so bad, right? But guess what? We have a first and second option. So if you could go get your third, fourth, fifth option, that's perfect. And now, guys like, Lonnie Walker and Austin Reeves and them, now they get to be your sixth, seventh, eighth option. Dennis Schroeder, as great as he's playing, now he's your sixth man as opposed to being your starting point. It's a better position for the Lakers to be in. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. What do you think? Think the Lakers should do the deal? Think you hit them up? You think that this gets done? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. Let me know down in the comment section below.